So hi everybody, my name is Helmut Schmerniak and I like to show you a video how you can build your own solutions based on our Document Hub source code. Our WebShare customers can license the full source code, yes, the entire source code, no programming or customization limits. They can build their own apps by utilizing our iPad Document Hub solution. We learned from customers that they are keen to develop their own solutions for iPad and iPhone devices. They don't like to be limited by a publishing solution, by just publishing one document as an app or so, and then paying for each user accessing this or for each app they create. So this motivated us to develop the Document Hub and make this available in full source code without additional costs to our customers. And this tour will be a little guide how to get started to build your own applications based on our Document Hub source code. To do so, I go to our website. The first thing you should check out is the datasheet for the Document Hub. And the benefit is here you see what it is capable of, its benefits and features. Also there's a datasheet in PDF form available. And very important, at the end there is a link for developers. And now I'm clicking to this link, jumping on a second web page. Here it is. This web page contains information for Document Hub developers to develop customized or branded applications. So the whole idea is that they don't need to reinvent the wheel again, basically utilizing our ready to deploy product and customizing it by just a little branding or enhancing it with more features or recreating a complete entirely new application just utilizing our capabilities. So in this document here you find some ideas what can be developed in easy steps. You will also find instructions what is needed to get a developer and to access the source code. And here we have a link to the license agreement. So this is basically a one-page license agreement for customers to access the source code and develop custom applications or branded applications based on it. We are very proud that this document fits on one A4 or US letter page. So it's straightforward, just defining that they get the source code, that customers have no limitations in deploying and delivering or utilizing the app. And it also covers confidential information, that the confidential information with the source code should not be shared with others. So we are very proud that this fits on one page. The second page just collects the contact names and company address. So compare this document with the Apple iOS developer membership, which is a 36-page document, and this Apple document comes with a font size probably half of the size like ours. So, and then it's hard to understand. We focused on it to make it very easy. It's localized in German, English, French and Japanese. So then another resource you need to know is the Document Hub Google Plus page. So when you search for Document Hub developers, you will come to this page. And the first thing you need to make sure, you cannot see all the documents unless you sign into this circle, basically adding the Document Hub developers into your circle. Then all postings are public to or published, that you can access this. And here we have a couple of training videos, a spotlight search tour on the iPhone, better information about the latest beta, and also a complete tour on an iPad. So just make sure that you join this page to receive all the required information. As I explained earlier, the complete source code is available, and now let's see what we do with this. So for the source code, there are a couple of options how to work with the source code. One is that customers, web share customers, basically can ask for the source code and can develop their own solutions. Number two is customers can ask for the source code and hire some contractors or programmers to do the work for them. So this is also covered in the agreement. It just needs to be completed with the contact names. And number three is that developers may consider to develop their own solution based on the document hub and publish this as their own solution. That's all fine as long as their solution connects to our server for authorization, and it can connect in parallel to other servers. So developers can get a licensee and can deploy their own applications or just develop applications and hand this over to customers. There are multiple options. Okay, so then the next step is, and for this I go to developer.apple.com to get an iOS developer. And there are multiple options to get an iOS developer. So basically going to developer.apple.com, and there is a so-called iOS iOS developer program you can click on here, and then you have to see that for the iOS developer program there are basically two options to access this developer program. One is, here we go. One is the iOS developer program, which is basically for $99 a year, and this is what most of the developers are doing. They're developing an app and distributing this via the Apple Store. So before you distribute this to the Apple Store, you can install this on registered test devices. Every iOS device has a so-called UDID. It's a unique ID, and when you register this on the Apple website, you can load your application up front for testing on these devices. This beta test or development devices are limited to 100 nodes or devices. And what's very special with this option here, that you need to go to the Apple Store and distribute, sell your application for free or for money via the Apple Store. There is no other way to get your application to public devices. It's not permitted, and also not for own devices. You cannot get this into the devices because the only distribution is the Apple Store. So then there is a second option for the developers. It's so-called an enterprise developer for in-house. This costs $300 a year, and the benefit here with this enterprise developer program is that you can develop the app, and this app can be published on your intranet website, or there are multiple options, but let's say the iOS Enterprise Developer Program is for solutions which should be mainly deployed within your business. So when the goal is to have a solution just for your sales team, the Developer Enterprise Program is the right way to go, because this way you don't need to go to the Apple Store, you don't need to make the application publicly available to everyone. You just say, okay, it's an intranet application, I distribute this to my sales team and my employees only. So that's a very nice benefit. And another really important benefit is the iOS Developer Program allows you to publish this app without knowing the UDID of the devices. So when you get a new sales member or a new team member, just send them to your intranet website to click on the application and install it. You don't need to register his device up front, so that's very good. So there's also a little downside with this program. The application you install needs to be reinstalled every year, and you need to renew this membership every year. With the Apple Store application, once it's in the store, customers can deploy this for years. With the Enterprise Developer Program, it expires with your membership, and you need to renew your membership and create a new application with a new certificate that it works for another year. So it's important that you choose your option between Enterprise Developer Program or regular iOS Developer Program, like I was showing this before. You need to choose this upfront because there is no option from Apple to switch from iOS Developer to Enterprise or back. And only the iOS Developer Program allows you to distribute your applications in the store. The Enterprise Developer Program has no store publishing option, and it's not permitted, so it's a little bit tricky. Maybe one option is, if you plan to do both, to set up 2 Apple accounts, and but you need to figure it out. I think it's important to know upfront what you are going to do. And again, iOS Developer Program distribution only via the Apple Store. Enterprise Developer Program distribution in-house to any app without having the UDID registered upfront. So now let's continue, and this is the directory a customer receives when they license the Document Hub source code. Basically, it comes with a folder where the source code is, also a folder where the help system is, and the project file. So let's go into step 3, starting with Xcode. So I launch Xcode now, and after you unpack the tar archive and you clicked on the project, you will see the project. You can click on this, you can open this, and we have maybe I just start here. There's a folder called App Icons, and here we have a couple of files which can be easily localized. So this is our start screens and about screens, and also the icon must and should be localized. So this is part of the stuff which can be localized. So let's go further down, and so here, utilities. I open this folder. Utilities is a source code folder containing a lot of library files to do XML communication, to do the zip unpacking and packing, to manage the network communication. So just utility helper functions. Okay. So now I continue with the next folder, and this is the database model. This includes information about the database we're using to store all the information. So that's very good to know. And then there's also another folder containing additional source code information to manage the core data database model. So stuff can be customized here. I like to explain you a little bit background on what we do with the database. All data of the Document Hub, and maybe before I start, I just run this on an iPad or iPhone simulator to give you a little bit more idea. Okay, now the Document Hub has been started. It runs on my simulator here. All data you see, the SharePoints, the files, the downloads, going back, the last used Spotlight query and all this, it's saved in a database. So it's saved in a core database. All the browsing information, even the let's look, the previews we show here, everything is stored in a core data database. And the reason for this is that we can work offline, and that this brings speedy access because we work with user interface against the database. And the database content will be automatically updated when things change on the server. You see, I updated my system today at 11:06. So this means my representation, it's today 11:06 AM. When I have no network connection, like there is no Wi-Fi or network connection, and by the way, I'm recording this video from home and connecting to the company server in Hanover. So when there is no network connection, you see what is the last date of this view being updated. So again, all this stuff, it's stored in the database, and once something is updated on the server, it will also be updated in the database, and it will be updated in the user interface. So this goes asynchronously in the background. That's very good because very often you will face network timeouts or missing network connections or slow links, and the whole user interface will just continue because it works against the database, and the database gets updated with the latest refresh from the server. So this is a very smart design which makes it super fast. All communication is done in the background. This is a huge advantage because the user interface gets never blocked. And so you see, I enter something here. It finds data based sending a query to the server and responding this and updating the database, and this updates this list. So I think it's a very nice implementation how we did this. So let's go back to Xcode, and I was running this application in the simulator. So building the application, product, build, will compile it, and then it's created. So running it, there are multiple options. On the upper left you can see you can run it in an iPad simulator, on an iOS, the iPhone simulator, so or on the iOS device. The iOS device needs to be connected via USB to your Mac, otherwise it won't work. So watch the Apple videos to learn about the Xcode and building apps and how to do stuff. So now I like to show you when you like to run it, you just click on run and it runs on the iPhone simulator or on the device. Now I like to show you what you need to create, what you need to do when you like to publish your app and create an application. And this is done in products. Wait a second, click on this, products. Oops, device. Okay, products built for archiving. This is what you need to, so first you go to the device because you're not building it for the simulator. Products are built for archiving. This is the step you need to do, and then it's compiling this for your system. It asks you to access your keychain, and I allow this. And the whole thing about certificates and keys, for this you need to watch the Apple videos for getting started with this. So now I created the application. Now I like to create an archive, and this archive creates the Document Hub IPA package. And so again it asks for the keychain, and now it shows me, okay, we have December 26th now, and we have a new application here. So the next step is click on distribute, and then for this, in this case, I set everything up for an enterprise ad hoc deployment. So next, and using the Helios distribution profile, confirming this. Okay, and now it asked me where should the document be stored. Let's save it on the desktop, and done. So now let's look to this here, and here is my IPA, and this is basically the whole app, and you can drag this into iTunes. So I will show how it can be done. Make it a little bit smaller. So stuff can be dragged into the iTunes library, and now it's ready for deployment on registered devices. So I will show you, I delete this, and I will show you a different way of doing stuff. So you saw I created the complete package, the IPA, which is the application containing all its resources. And now I like to show you something completely different. And this is, again, enterprise deployment. Helios software. Oh, I don't know why it's not remembering my certificates, but so now there's an important checkbox here, save for enterprise system, and this means instead of using iTunes to copy the application to your iPhone, you can create a website like HTTP so like your domain slash maybe apps slash hub, and call it my document hub. So when this gets done, it creates two files. One is the IPA again. It's the same procedure like I did before, and then there's a second file, that's the plist. And with this, you can create, I'm just looking to this, you can create a piece of HTML code. This is the HTML code here, basically showing an image showing the information, where is this located, like yourdomain.com/app/myapp or hub, or however you call it. And at the end, this HTML file, so let's save this as an oops, so turn this away, and now let's save this as an index.html. Okay, done. So now you see three files, the document hub, a plist file, and the index.html file. And this files needs to be copied on your web server, and this way you can distribute the application from your web server. So That's very powerful and allows distribution to all your employees and team members straightforward. So back to the decision what kind of iOS developer program. Please note, when you are going to apply for the enterprise developer program, Apple specifies in the agreement that this is for distribution to your own team members, employees, within your organization only. So what we learned, that once you apply for this, Apple gives you a call and the secretary is asking you what you are going to do and how are you going to distribute your apps. So make sure that you are getting prepared for this and that you tell them, okay, we are doing an internal document distribution solution and we are going to distribute this to our sales team member. And how are you going to distribute this? We are distributing this via our intranet website, because remember that sales or distribution of applications outside of your business is not permitted with this program. That's why they're calling you up and asking you about it. So just to recap, what is needed to do. Number one is go to our website, check out the developer program information, check out the license agreement, make sure you are linked into the developer program. Then Xcode, you get our complete source code. Here you can just rebuild this, create your own application and customize this. It can be as simple just replacing some icons and application names, etc., or enhancing its feature set.